which means then that you will have 2 minutes left. When your time goes, please stand back from the table. It doesn't seem a long time, and it isn't a long time, but if Mrs. Smith comes into their shops, we'll be talking to Mrs. Jones up the road for 3/4 of an hour, and then has 2 minutes in which to catch her bus. She likes everything done last week. The National Federation of Fishmongers would also like to thank the many financial sponsors, amongst them the Sea Fish Industry Authority, which is the governing body, and Ross Fish Limited, the Fish Trader, Mar Frozen Food Limited, the Fishmongers Company Limited. Competitors, we stand by, please. We still have the same format as we've had throughout the competition. These tasks being performed this morning are what we call the basic skills, but nevertheless are still skills. If you're wondering why the young man has a cloth on his block, it is because he finds it better to hold his fish in place instead of wrestling with it on the floor. 10 minutes, which means you will just have 2 minutes left. When your time is called, your table. Competitors, you have had 5 minutes. 5 minutes. The National Federation of Fishmongers would like to acknowledge the sterling work done by the Borough of Torbay, who is the Dominic Club, the Borough Engineer, and the cooperation and encouragement provided by the Brixham Harbour Master and the tenants of the market. So then we do indeed say thank you.
Oh, you're shooting him?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Did he manage to fix you up with a lead? Pass. Fine. That's the time. So you got you are taking other aspects of the day, are you?
Yeah. John's landing a beautiful job, yeah.
Really? Oh, he's landed you. I thought you volunteered.
Well, a bit of both, bit of both.
I'm sure you'll be interested.
a request from the police. Will anyone with a car parked out on the forecourt move them? I think they're going to start putting these wheel clamps on or something. But if you have a car out on the forecourt, I suggest that you move it. They're getting a little irate.
You're on to the side then and don't go too near the edge here. Because I want to watch these juniors.
It would be very remiss of me not to mention a local man, Mr. John Glasgow, a retired veteran fishmonger, whose idea was to stage this competition down in Brixham. Alas, for all his hard work, he suffered a heart attack just prior to this competition going on. But I would just like to point out also that the Brixham Fishmongers are presenting their produce with the main hall of the market. They will have displays judged by a panel of experts. The display considers to be the best on show will win a valuable crystal ball. The fish display of Mr. Joe Watkins, Bruce Carson, the product of TV Fishmongers on the
Just saw exactly what I wanted.
Christopher Ledwich, keeping separate Fishmongers on the
David,
practice green, at least Fishmongers on the pond. With Mr. John Vickers, Poultry Road, one perfectly. Are you ready, Mr. Competition Organiser, for the next round? Will the senior poultry competitors take their place at the table, please? That is number 4, 7, 12 and 11. Senior poultry, please, numbers 4, 7, 12 and 11.
Daddy, I'm ready.
To get the Classroom of the Year, number 2, FG76EM55. Will the lucky person make his way forward, please? You have won yourself a delectable side of sliced smoked salmon. This is well worth over, judging by the weight, well over 20 pounds in money. So will the lucky winner, please, on a salmon pink ticket, number 2, come forward. The first draw for a side of smoked salmon, the number is number 2 on a salmon pink ticket, but please look at the serial number before you dash forward. The serial number is FG 76EM55. To the close of this morning session in the fish and poultry competition, the 35th, I might add, of the National Federation of Fishmongers. The winners of this morning's session will go through this afternoon into the finals. And one of these lucky people, well, not lucky, no, that's the wrong word to use. One of these people, through their skill and trade, will become Craftsman of the Year, a most coveted title, and everything that goes with it. To become Craftsman of the Year is indeed a wonderful achievement. When you think that these people travel from far and wide, I don't know whether you can see, I'd see for the past few years, it would appear that Huddersfield has become the Craftsman of the Year home. We hope that today, well, we don't wish them bad luck, they deserve what they get, but at the same time, it would be nice to have a winner. Number 2, FG76EM55. Would competitors in the junior fish numbers 5 and 6, and in the senior poultry number 13, 15 and 10 take up your positions, please? Dennis is dinner ready, he's on his way home. This afternoon, the task this afternoon will be different and a little more complex than you've seen this morning. But nevertheless, the basic skills that these people have are really marvelous. We still haven't had anyone come forward for this delectable side of smoked salmon. If they don't come forward soon, I think I'll take it home myself. It is on salmon pig ticket. Junior poultry number 4, 3 and 1. When you think that many of these competitors have travelled many miles, some of them overnight, without sleep, and can stand out there and perform these tasks, it is indeed an achievement. Or after 5 minutes, then after 10. You have 12 minutes in which to complete these tasks. of this morning's session, I suggest on your way out you look at the marvellous displays of fish that have been presented by the Brixham fish merchants. The winner for the fish show at 1:15 by Mayor of Torbay, Councillor B.H.
I would like to do some, because you said I could do some, but the battery was out. Please. And so one with some, then some pens like in that shop, and I'd like to get one.
And this afternoon you will see who will become Craftsman of the Year, Senior Craftsman of the Year, that is for the whole of England, Scotland, Ireland and Wales. And also, for the first time ever, we have, or we're going to have, a Junior Craftsman of the Year. This, we think, is something because there are a lot of youngsters now entering the trade, as you can see these two young men. Look at them. The last one going in, I might add, went to work for a fishmonger under the Youth Opportunities Scheme, and as a result of this, he proved so brilliant that he couldn't get rid of him or put him out. He had to keep him because he achieved such great standards. I can't preempt what's going to say because of the finals this afternoon. But anyway, that is one success story that came out of it. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, any moment now, with our competition organiser, Mr. Brian Bogle on my right, pulls his finger out, we might get underway with a bit of luck. He's bending over there. 4 finalists this afternoon in the senior finals in the fish competition, and I know, but still, I believe Sidmouth is just down the road somewhere. Being not a native of these parts, I don't know much about it, but I can assure you I shall come back because I love it. Sam, my dad, his father is a very, very, very good fishmonger in Derby, and as a matter of fact, it's a matter of interest to go and buy your fish. So if there's any visitors down here from Derby, I'll give them a plug. Mr. Roon. The juniors, we have one. Incidentally, I'd just like to remind you once again that tickets for a £10 salmon are now on sale. They are 50 pence each, or 3 for £1. And a £10 salmon has got to be worth 40. Would you please take your lot, gentlemen? And the best of luck. You've got plenty of time. And please, the first aid box has been under there all day. I don't want to use it, so watch it. The young junior finalists have 15 minutes, and in that 15 minutes they have to clean and stake a cod, skin a lemon sole, dark side only, head off and trimmed, skin a Dover sole on both sides, and clean and fillet a trout into 2 fillets. The trout, incidentally, kindly donated by the trout people. Gentlemen, I will give you your time, the last 2. But you've got 15 minutes. I was never a mathematician, actually. These highly skilled ways. You notice the knives. You'll probably notice that each one has a different sort of a knife. It's just no reason for it. In actual fact, I don't think they are. It feels good to them, and therefore they use them. And woe betide anyone should they pick that knife up. Will you cut this piece of fish? Your knife is sharper than mine. Worth its weight in gold. As you can see, they are now taking the blood out of the and that they will then proceed to go into, having cleaned it, they then stake it. First of all, as you can see, they take off the lugs, and then from now on in.
played host to the National Fish Festival, the first time it's been outside London in recent years.
Fish in Brixham aren't exactly unusual, but this was different. The town was playing host to Britain's premier event. Bemused holidaymakers from landlocked parts cast apprehensive eyes over the sort of things they usually only see in batter. The aim of it all was simple.
Basically, our aim of the craftsmanship competition is to improve the general skills of fishmongering and to put the skills of those fishmongers in front of the general public. You know, the public can really get and see what happens in the back of their shop when they're going to local fishmongers.
For the public here today, what else is there?
You have wonderful displays of fishes caught in the Brixham area. This is the thing, the southwest. What comes up to London, goes up to Manchester, to Liverpool, even into Scotland.
For the exhibitors, there was a more serious side to it all. To the layman, it might look like just, well, a pile of fish, but to the judges, it was a work of art.
The two major areas we're looking at are the artistic display and the number of species that they've actually used to incorporated into that display. And we're also doing two smaller areas. One is ingenuity of how they presented the display, and the other is for any accessories they've used in which to present the display.
The proof, they say, is in the eating. Spicy cod steaks might not be everyone's favourite in the middle of the morning, but it seemed to go down rather well. Not all fish has to be cooked before it can be eaten. In the hotels, you pay a fortune for fresh oysters, but for visitor Pat Marsland from Manchester, these from the River Exe were free.
It's okay, it's nice.
The spirit of competition wasn't confined to displays. There was the more practical side. Part of the quay became a sort of fish abattoir, as unmentionable things were done in the pursuit of culinary excellence. Just to prove there was a bit of life, these trout kept an eye on things. Or were they wondering who was next? Even when we humans thought we'd got the upper hand, there was always this lurking suspicion that we weren't quite masters of the deep.
Reminded me of a lot of my friends.